Welcome to a very special Ask GMBN because we've got an amazing guest, Hans Rey. Oh my goodness.
Look at him.
So it's a special edition. We're going to run through some of your questions that you've been sending in via the hashtag AskGMBN and also ask@gmbn.com. So let's just kick it off straight away. I can't wait to hear your answers. First one we've got is from Michael Medina. And he said, who from the world of mountain biking can put down the most pints and still ride in a straight line? Now, Hans, you must know the answer to that.
All my friends don't drink, so...
Yeah, right.
Well, I think we have to test that out at the next bike event, but...
We could try tonight.
Yeah.
We could try tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be one of us.
I think Steve Peake can put down some.
Yeah, Petey would be up there, contender. I think Danny McCaskill would
Actually, yes.
He has good balance, that guy. So.
That's good to hear, isn't it?
So you can take
Because
a few.
he's a star of riding, and it makes you love him a little bit more when you know he's a star of drinking too. I love that. So there you go. It's Danny Mac. He wins everything, that guy. Oh, God, I don't know. Right, next question from EDUARDO Romero. He says, I use flat pedals and 510 shoes. Sounds good.
Good combo.
But my feet keep sliding out of the pedals. Any tips? Now this has confused me.
Yeah.
Well, I think we passed the equipment here.
Yeah, the equipment passes.
I think it's your foot position.
Yeah.
And you should maybe try to ride with high heels. And if you manage to not slip off,
Yes.
you know, then you can do it in any pair of shoes, more or less. Of course, it helps to have a grippy sole, but it's really that your arms push this way, your feet push the other way. You kind of jam yourself inside the bike in that way, and your back foot does a lot of the steering. So remember your back foot, pressure on there, and...
I think Hans has diplomatically said it's the rider, not the tools.
Yes.
I think that was the answer. I'm sorry, Eduardo. It might be you. It could be. We're putting it out there. Right, next question. John, from John, who can make my how can I make my XC bike do bar spins? Oh, this doesn't sound like a good idea to me.
But you don't want to make an XC bike do bar spins, would you? Because of that long stem.
Well, I don't know. Can you do it?
You can, but
might be the next trend.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that guys do trials on road bikes?
That's good. It's a good point.
There you go.
You've got me there. You've got me there. I've got nothing at this point.
You can do it.
Generally, you would have need longer cables, and then you have to rewind, and then you turn.
Put the front brake
Then it's
through
going to be
there.
a slope-style bike, not a front-country bike.
But the front brake's going to be the problem, isn't it? The back one you could just wrap a lot, but the front one you need longer cables. You know what? We've got a really great video which is all about what is a dirt jump bike, and I've got a feeling, John, you might need to take a look at that. So have a look.
Some of you are wondering, what is a dirt jump bike? I like to say it's an oversized BMX. You can use it in the skate parks, you can use it on the street, dirt jumps, slope style. I'm going to walk you through the whole bike. So I'm going to start from the ground and work my way up. You've got two different size wheels when it comes to dirt jump riding. You've got 24-inch wheels here, which is a little bit of an old school size wheel, but there are still them die-hard fans that do still use them. This side we've got 26, the most common sized wheel when it comes to dirt jump riding.
Okay, next question is from Francesco 2000. Do you think that mountain biking is bad for the environment? Now, we had this question the other day on another Ask, but I really wanted to get your take on this, Hans, because we were thinking, well, if the trails are maintained responsibly,
rubbish is taken back, no.
What do you think?
Well, just being alive is bad for the environment. So
good point.
Where do you draw the line? And I mean, at the end of the day, mountain biking is good for body and soul, and it's really the best way to explore nature.
Yes.
What better way to get out in the middle of nowhere? You're quiet, you have solitude, you experience nature, and you actually have often less of an impact than a walker or a hiker, because they talk loud and they're much longer in a certain area. So, I mean, you can answer your own question.
That was the answer I was looking for. Amy Grohman, what's an easy trick to learn for an intermediate rider? She's riding a 27.5 full sus. I would say the track stand, because I think that's a great place to start with your mountain biking, whatever. But yeah, go on.
I'd say bunny hop. That's a good one.
Bunny hop. Yeah,
bunny hop, you have to put a few techniques together to make it happen. Track stand is impressive, or an endo where you just kind of do a little stoppy and come down. That always works in front of the ice cream parlor.
Yeah, perfect. Car park skills, and it's really rewarding, the endo, isn't it? There's nothing better until you go too far, which That's got to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to happen at some point, Amy, but good luck. Good luck with that. AP Sidewinder says, why can't you put a rear What? Wait.
Carry reading it.
AP Sidewinder, why can't you put a rear derailleur in the front and a front derailleur in the rear? Did I read that right?
Because you can't put a front wheel in the rear and a rear wheel in the front. But that being said, I'm sure somebody has done it, and there's a bike somewhere in the museum.
No, Hans, I disagree. I don't think that could have been done.
Is that a unicycle with like?
Well, that would only have one wheel.
No, but cranks on the back wheel and then.
I mean, that question has left us.
Well, the trials bikes have the freewheel in the front.
Oh, yes.
The simple answer to that question, AP, is no.
What kind of a question is that anyway?
Oh, God. Right, we need to get back into something seriously mountain biking.
You're wasting my time here.
Carlos Garcia says, can you guys explain the difference between World Cup and World Champs? Now, that is a good question, actually, because it can be confusing.
I'm confused.
You're confused?
Yeah.
Well,
please explain.
Hans, correct me if I'm wrong. It is basically, World Champs is a one-off event, happens once a year. At the end of it, if you've won, you get a rainbow jersey. You've probably got one.
Yeah, it's the most prestige. Actually, I don't have a rainbow jersey.
No, I don't either.
But when I won the trials World Championships, even though they were UCI, they didn't give out rainbow jerseys for the trials yet. You know, it came only later.
That old chestnut.
So they go like, "Hey, Blad, you won, good job. Let's give all the flowers to the downhillers and the cross-country guys." No, but it's basically the most prestige event, and everybody wants to win it. But actually, it's harder to win the World Cup.
Yes. So the World Cup is a series of races and competitions across the year. You aggregate points over the season. Person at the end with the most points is the World Cup champion. And like you say, that's harder to win.
And it's harder to win it, but you have to be consistent throughout the season. World Championships is what everybody goes for.
Yeah. And who would you say is the one person you think hasn't got a World Cup, a World Champs rainbow jersey, apart from yourself, who should have one? I would say like Aaron Gwynn is the man.
Oh, yes.
He still hasn't got a rainbow jersey.
Brendan Fairclough?
Brendan Fairclough.
And about 5 billion other people.
Rat Boy. There's loads. They all deserve it.
I do have a rainbow jersey, but it's from the Bike Trial Union, so it's their version of a rainbow jersey. It's a World Champs jersey, but it's a different. I think I'm confusing the issue.
I say you've got one.
Good question. That got us back into mountain biking, which I'm happy about. Right, a question here from Scootering TNC. What would be better for street and skate park riding, a BMX or a trials bike? Oh,
mountain bike.
A mountain bike,
Dirt
for
jump
sure.
bike.
Now, what I was thinking here, I don't know what you guys think, is that maybe what scootering is after here is one of those bikes like Danny Mac's riding. Right in the middle there.
Well,
maybe.
You could ride either bike, a BMX or trials in a skate park. You would probably pick different lines and do different tricks.
Sure,
so you can take any bike in a skate park for that matter. But like you say, like a little street urban bike like Danny's would probably be the most fun maybe.
And that bike is a 24-inch inspired trials bike. So take a look at this video about what is trials, because it's got some great clips of Danny Mac nailing some awesome lines. Trials riding is without doubt one of the most technical forms of bike riding there is. And it comes in many different forms, but in mountain biking it comes under two guises. Competition trials, which is all about technical ability and gymnastic moves, and then street trials, which is more creative and using your imagination to negotiate obstacles out on the street. Okay, so we asked all of our viewers on Facebook to send us some questions for you, Hans, and you're gonna be put through the mill here, because some of these are incredibly difficult questions.
Good luck.
I don't know if you're going to survive this. Let's try. Let's try. So the first question we got was from Joel Nutzner, who says, "Is Gladiator your favourite movie?"
I said that once, I think, yeah.
I think he knows that.
Yeah.
Is that still true?
Well, you know, those things change, just like your favorite meal and, you know, and all that. So I like that film.
Yeah.
It's a feel-good film, but Dirty Tricks and Cunning Stunts, I think, was better.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it's hit me in the heart, that one. Right. It's like I said, they're big, meaty questions. The next one is, and this one, prepare yourself, Hans. Do you remember this photo of you with Regan Everson? Now, he says it's in Fairfax, California. Do you remember this moment?
Well, I must have been at the Mountain Bike Hall of Fame ceremonies.
He says it's at an after party, so I don't know if he's asking, do you generally remember, or were you able to remember? I'm not sure what the question was.
I remember the after party, for sure.
That's pretty cool. Hall of Fame induction party.
That photo made it, see?
Yeah,
made it out of the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame is a cool thing. They moved it now actually to Fairfax, where there's the Marine Mountain Bike Museum, and every year a few people from, not just racers, but industry pioneers, advocates, you know, from all different scenes, people who had a big impact on the industry and sport, like a ripple effect. And in the past it was done a bit sloppy, so some people have been left out and some people slept in, but the new thing is like setting the record straight, and they're really making sure the right people and deserving people get in there.
There must be something wrong with the communications in there, because I haven't had a letter or anything yet, so I don't know.
Check the mail. Check your junk mail.
I'm checking daily. I'm checking daily. Right, next question from Neil Daniel. If the bikes were as capable in the past as they are now, how do you think that would have affected your riding when you were younger and your early part of your career, and how would that have changed the development of the sport? It's a difficult question, but
it would have changed things, but the bottom line is there's an evolution, and evolution takes time. So even if you had those bikes back then, certain things are definitely easier. Sometimes I wonder why. How could I have done this on this bike? You know, like if you look at one of your 25-year-old bikes, and then like especially like hopping on the back wheel now with the short chainstays and the fat tire and the BB high, it's like you can almost stand still on your back wheel. Where before we were like trying to keep your balance and you know, like, so there's things. And
I remember those days.
But then there's things like on my old Saska, you know, one of my classic signature moves used to be the Statue of Liberty. You know?
Yes.
And you can't do it anymore because now the chainstays are so short, your foot doesn't fit in between the frame, and there's so much stuff going on in the full suspension bike. So
some things haven't evolved. You know, some things have gone. Or is it a classic example of evolution, and maybe we didn't need the Statue of Liberty, Hans? Maybe we didn't need it.
That trick, nobody ever needed it.
I loved it.
But,
and actually, I've got to admit, I could never do it. I could never do that trick. No. Let's move on. Next question. Right, Robbie McQuaide would like to know, was the Headhunter trail as tough as it looked? Now that is going back to a classic video. Yeah,
that was an adventure I did with Steve Pete in Borneo. I think it was in 2000, and we kind of were looking for headhunters. Got the spirits messed with us a bit on that one. But the riding itself, I have to say, on mountain biking standards, it wasn't that great because it was really hard. It was 3 days in the jungle, and it was pretty flat, but there was not a 3 or 4 foot section without a route or rather water crossing. It was raining. It was humid. There was we were soaking wet for I think 4 days straight.
It sounds like
it was miserable. It was pretty miserable. So
I think the answer is yes. It was as tough as it looked, because it did look. You were coming down the slacklining down the side of a rock.
We upside on the backside of a cave. They have these huge caves there, and we traversed one of the caves. And then at the end there was a cliff, and we had to upside on it.
Whoa. Crazy. Right, Hector Perez, when did you and how did you feel when you first made your big, insane move for the very first time? You know, when you did that first trick, how did that feel? And what was it? It'd be interesting to know, what was the first, like, trick where you thought, oh my god, I love doing that?
Well, that level, you know, it changes constantly. Everybody starts out with, hey, I could do 4 back wheel hops, you know, and then tomorrow you can only do 2, and then like the next day you maybe do 5, and the next, I remember there was a set of stairs, 12 steps to up the church where I grew up in Germany, and when I first time made it up there 1 wheel at a time, you know, like I was stoked. And there was a wall that was 90 centimeters. That's about a little lower than this table.
Yeah, your record.
And when I made it up that, I was like, you know, so you have these milestones, and then later, you know, these milestones change, and the way you approach it, and And yeah, nowadays unless you go backwards on the front wheel or whatever.
you know one. Oh God, I know. And it's one of those things, isn't it? Is that you're always chasing that feeling again, isn't it?
Yeah,
like, what was the first big dirt jump trick you ever did that made you go, oh my God, this is what I've got to do for the rest of my life?
360.
360. Yeah.
That was it for me.
Yeah.
And I always do them.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of them.
Oh, for me, it was a wheelie. The moment I could do a wheelie, I was like, oh my God, I'm on one wheel.
We used to practice for hours going up and down the street, you know, days and days on end, you know.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't matter what the trick is. The feeling's the same, and once you've got that once, you're hooked.
Set yourself a goal and visualize it and try it. Analyze your mistakes.
Perfect words from the master himself. And what a great AskGMBN this has been. It's
been amazing.
Cool, interesting. Keep your questions coming using the hashtag AskGMBN, and you can send them in via email to ask@gmbn.com. And also you can leave them in the comment section down below this video. Well, that was a great show, and if you want to see more videos like this every day of the week, then you can just click that logo just there to subscribe. And for a video right now, why don't you click here where you can see 5 essential MTB street skills.
Oh, and don't forget, click here to see beginner mistakes.
And we've put a little post just above your head, Hans, where you can go to your YouTube channel and see your Iceland Traverse video with Steve Pete, because that's a good video. It's good.
That was a fun trip.
Yeah, and of course, there's only one thing left to do. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Did that.